Hey friends, DisThunder here. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at the Mezco 112 Collective Beetlejuice figure, but we're going to do it in an unboxing style, which is kind of different for me. I haven't done one of those in a long time, but felt like doing it for this one because there's a lot to cover and I wanted to make it kind of brief. So as with most unboxings, we start with the box, and this is the box. It's actually quite nice. I'm always impressed with how much stuff they can cram into the smaller size packaging. Here's the back of the box with stuff on the back as you would expect or hope, because how else are you going to know what's in it? Then we get a look at the top tray, which has the figure himself, his multiple heads, looks like some stand pieces and hands. You can also see just the hint of that carousel head in there. Looks like there's a little piece that goes on the top that I need to readjust. There's actually three trays. You've got the stand and Mezco baggie and extendo arms in one. You've got this second tray that has the gravestone and the mallet heads and some batteries and some more display parts. And we have some instructions, which I think are going to come in handy. Here's that bottom tray with the extendo arms and the display piece. I think that about covers the boxing, right? Starting with the headstone here, there is a panel on the bottom that lets you get access to the battery compartment. And so we need to take a Phillips, not a flathead like I did here. Use a Phillips, use the right tool for the job. But just pop this thing open so you can get the batteries in there. Pretty self-explanatory, but this is the kind of stuff you do in unboxing. So once you got the batteries in, you just flip the switch and bam. Actually, even in my studio lighting, that is a pretty good illumination. Actually, this thing looks really great. So here's the stuff from that top tray all laid out. Here you see the hands, the extra heads, the display pieces. So these are the mallets that are in that second or third tray. I'm not quite sure how these work yet. I'm assuming that's probably the wrist peg that I'm looking at there, or it could be for the stand. No, I don't think so. I'm wondering if the stand's got another adapter piece that goes elsewhere, because those two don't line up. Looking at the display stand, I now see you attach, I'll get rid of that. You attach this to the base, and then there are these small plastic disc pieces that go on top of those. That is what you put the mallets on. So then you take this guy, flip it around, stick the arm in that port on the side, and then you can use those clear plastic stands to support the mallet, presumably. So as you can see here, it's just got a regular kind of universal wrist peg spot in there for the arm attachment. So you just kind of put those on the wrist pegs and then put the other one on the end of the mallet, kind of like I did on the first one. But I'm learning as I'm going here. But like I said, to attach with the figure, you just simply take it like you would any other variant hand, give yourself a little bit of space, and just pop it right onto that wrist peg. And actually lines up, I mean, not seamlessly, but pretty good. And as you can see, these are some long boys. That's a pretty substantial accessory. And there is, of course, a bendy wire in there, as I'm sure you would have guessed. And then you take the display stand, pop it underneath like this, and that's not a bad looking effect. Looking at this carousel head, and I can already tell you this is pretty damn wild. There is a lot of paint going on. There is a ton of detail work, a lot of sculpting going on. To get access to the inside, you just take the umbrella off, and here you can see the board with the LEDs and the switch. The batteries are already in there. Damn, that's pretty bright. Oh, and it is articulated. I don't think I was expecting that. Damn. This is kind of a signature piece, isn't it? And then you need to take that little topper piece and just kind of peg it in there. Sorry, it's out of frame, but it goes in that little hole only one way. So once you've got it in there, it stays, the umbrella part stays secure. And then we try to fit it on this damn head. It's a single ball joint. It's a little tricky, but once you get it in there, I mean, holy hell. That has got some serious presence to it. Let me back up a little bit here. Turn off some of the studio lights so you can see how well the LEDs work. Sorry, bear with me here. It's got a really good yellow light to it. And, this is obviously still daytime, so there we go. Let's get a little darker. That's pretty good. That's very cinematic. So, yeah, altogether, I mean, I wish I had a diorama or something for this guy now. Breaking down the articulation, he has a ball-jointed neck and head. They're all one piece, like I mentioned, which is not my favorite, but it's pretty functional. I mean, it allows for a pretty good range of tilts and side to side and up and down. Although, as you rotate it upward, there is a little bit of a gap at the collar. You can see it there. It's not terrible, but it's there. Another reason why I prefer the separate neck piece, but it's not a big deal. ball jointed shoulder, double jointed elbow, bicep cut, and with a suit jacket on the top, it's really not too bad. Pretty good range overall there. He has a padded torso. I mean, this is soft stuff right here on top of a body, which, well, let's see. Actually, no, the waist joint's still pretty good. And even that's better than I thought. The torso joint actually is not really hindered by it either. So for a chubby guy in a suit, that's not bad. There are ball jointed hips, come out to just under 90. The pants are kind of tight there. There's a tight double jointed knee. That's about as far as you're going to get with the pants and everything. A little bit of a boot swivel there, feels like, and then ball jointed ankle, a little tight as well, but not too bad. Can almost, well, not quite splits, but he can get a decent range there. And then, of course, there's a swivel at the hips to fine tune it. For a guy in a fat suit, it's not bad actually. It kind of has some custom potential now I'm looking at it, but that's not what we're here for today. Let's take a look at the head options because he comes with several other non-carousel heads. This is the one that he comes packaged with, which is kind of a good default head, I think. Here you have with him with his mouth open, kind of smiling. And then I'll wrap the other one here. There is one with a, let's see, what makes that one different? Oh, it's kind of like a lip curl. I gotcha. Not bad looking. Actually, they all have a pretty strong likeness. And then the last one, well, second to last one, has, I think, let's see, looks like his eyes are slightly turned. Yeah, there you go. He's kind of looking up, or looking to the side there with a kind of slack-jawed expression. That's pretty cool. And then there is one more head that I almost forgot because I almost dropped it, and that is his head shrunk head. And now I can see why they went for the neck joint piece. Well, that and the carousel head, I can see why that kind of necessitated it. You have these for extra hands. There's a nail file in there at the top, and your handbook for the recently deceased. I mean, this is actually a pretty good accessory loadout, I would say. I'm just going to cut in a couple of static shots here of different heads and hands conveying, different expressions, because that's kind of the whole point of including 3 or 4 heads and, 6 pairs of hands, is that you can recreate any gesture or expression you want from the movie, which it's been a couple years since I've watched. Sequel was okay, but I imagine it still holds up. If, it was still fun as hell 4 or 5 years ago. I'm sure it's still fun today. And this thing, for being kind of a standalone figure, he kind of comes with everything you need to be a standalone feature in a collection. He's kind of got it all. He kind of is the ghost with the most, isn't he? I'm sorry, that was bad. I'm not reading off a script, so that's why you get cheesy dialogue. It's just shit happens, man. That's how unboxings work, or at least so I'm told. Ahead of this, I reached out to a friend of mine on Instagram, Bat1939, and had him drum me up some comparison shots since I knew I would be doing this in unboxing fashion and wouldn't have everything all laid out for comparisons. So I'm going to carousel those through here now as we finish up, so you have an idea of how he scales everything. And that's as good a time as any to give you some final thoughts, because I think we're probably about done. I'm genuinely surprised and impressed by this guy. He's like the last best Beetlejuice figure you're ever going to need. But I didn't know if I needed one, but I'm kind of glad I picked him up now. I got to admit, I was kind of waffling on him, and he's got a lot of presence. There's just a lot of dynamic character and personality in this guy. So this means Mezco knocked it out of the park. I mean, big shock, right? Nobody's stunned by this. They're just damn good at what they do these days. And this is no exception. And again, this has the feelings of being kind of a sleeper hit. At least I think so. So, thank you to Mezco Toys. Do the waitlist thing. Sorry, it's going to be one of those. Do the waitlist thing. Watch secondary market. If you think you need a Beetlejuice, this is your guy, so I strongly recommend him. That'll do it. That was kind of short, right? Cool. See you guys.